Welcome, everyone. My name is Destin Garrick, and we are diving into the first official session of this weekend festival. This is on the 4 tools for accessing and playing with your sexual energy. First, a little bit about me, so you know why to pay attention. My name is Destin Garrick. I am the author of. Oh, do I not have a copy on hand? I am the author of The Evolved Masculine: Be the Man the World Needs and the One She Craves. As well as the founder of a company and organization of the same name, The Evolved Masculine. I've been doing some form of work around sexuality for 23, 24 years, and have been focusing my work uh, primarily towards men for about 11 or 12 years now. I had my first experiences and openings into energy about 15 years ago, and they blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind because I was born and raised in New York. We don't do energy in New York. I mean, more people do now, but uh, certainly not then. We're very pragmatic. Give it to me raw, direct. I'll also say fuck a lot. That's my New York roots. And please make sure you're muted. It's only going to cause problems for everybody else.
Just
Um,
your mic is very soft.
ah, Thank you. Is this any better? Great. Okay. So I was a major skeptic when it came to concepts of energy. If you're here, you're probably not as much of a skeptic as I was at that time. So many of you, please raise your hand if you have familiarity with connecting to your energetic body, feeling subtle energies and sensations. Wonderful. Keep them raised. There's many pages. This is a full group. You don't have to have your video on here, but it helps. Other people get a chance to see you, get a sense of you. Gives me an opportunity to see you as well. Wonderful. And please put your hands down. Raise your hand if this weekend is your major introduction into energy, or maybe you've tried exploring it before, but you're not really sure how much you've felt it or connected to it. Okay, see a couple of hands here. Anybody else? Okay, and a lot of folks I cannot see at the moment. So my goal for you right now is for you to have some form of a tangible experience while introducing to you or deepening, depending on where you're at, your connection to what I view as the 4 primary tools for playing with sexual energy: breath, sound, movement, and visualization/intention. One of my core offerings or teachings within my body of work is what I call sexual self-mastery. I do this work primarily with men, helping them learn to connect to their sexual energy as an energy and how to work with and play with that energy so that they feel a greater degree of sovereignty and control over their body, which gives them a greater feeling of sovereignty and control and power as they move through life. But along with that tends to include fun things like learning to be truly at choice over when or if he ejaculates, experience full body orgasms, which is for the ladies too, or wherever you sit on any sort of gendered or sexual identification. The non-ejaculatory orgasms, learning to run your energy in a different way is also helpful to learn how to have ejaculatory orgasms if you're a woman. And even male multiple orgasms. And again, while my focus within the Evolved Masculine and sexual self-mastery is primarily towards men, I've also found that about 90% of what I teach these men about how to work with all of this is directly transferable to all others. And the parts that the other 10% is just adjustments, because due to biological plumbing, so to speak, there are some differences as to what makes sense or works better in the body, if that makes sense. So we have limited time, and we're going to kind of dive into these 4 tools. Let's start with breath. Wherever you are, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a moment to just sink into your body. I don't know what your day has been like before or what you have planned for after this, but right now, You're just sitting here or standing here with your eyes closed, bringing your attention inward. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. Simply noticing things exactly as they are. Noticing things exactly as they are. Noticing any sensations in your body, any places of tension, any places of relaxation. And as a reminder, there's not much for you to look at right now. Close your eyes and look within. And if you have resistance to that, notice that. Learning to connect to your energy body and where all the fun things of this whole weekend is going to open up to you around your energy body starts with being able to sense and feel these subtle sensations that are happening in your body. And you can't feel those sensations if you're not present to your body. So this is a practice of slowing down your breath, deepening into I'm sorry, we're having some tech issues. I'm trying to handle both at the same time. Deepen into that awareness of that separation between each inhalation and each exhalation. Each inhalation and each exhalation. Letting each breath get a little slower and a little deeper than the one before it. Each breath a little slower and a little deeper. Simply witnessing. That's all. Simply witnessing. You may notice that if you bring your attention to it, that the air coming into your body is cooler and it's warmer on the exhale. Cooler on the inhale. Warmer on the exhale. Nothing else to do. Simply noticing and feeling any sensations in your body as you breathe slowly and deeply. You should notice that as your exhales become slower and longer, that your mind starts to become a little bit more quiet. Good. Now stop for a moment, and with your eyes remaining closed, just notice anything that feels different now than just a couple of moments ago. You may notice your body feeling a little bit more relaxed, your mind a little bit more quiet. Perhaps a feeling of greater groundedness or a greater sense of peace within your system. So that was just giving about 2 minutes of attention to your breath. And it is just one of many ways in which you can play with your breath. So let's continue to play and explore some things that we can do with the breath. The breath is a very potent tool for connecting to these subtleties, as well to drop into a deeper sense of presence and to intentionally move this energy. So if you think of your groin, your sex organs, as the root of your like the generator of your sexual energy, then that energy can be moved through the body using this breath. For all the folks who are sending me private messages, I'm not reading them. Tasneem is assisting, and so she can't see it if you send it to me privately. Either send it to her privately or post it publicly so she can respond to you. Bring your attention, your awareness, down to your sex, down to your pelvis. And just imagine for a moment that as you are breathing, you are taking this energy, and if you don't really know what that means, we just right now, just think of it as an imagination game. Just that you are imagining that there's this energy in your groin. You could think of it as a ball of energy. You could give it a color, white. Some people prefer orange with the chakra. Honestly, I don't care the color right now. As long as you can imagine and see to the best of your ability. And if it's like, I don't really know, maybe I get little flashes here and there. It doesn't work with where you are. Playing with energy is one of those things that the more attention you give it, the easier it is to connect to. So wherever you are right now in this session, you continue to engage with the different sessions over the next 36 hours. By the end of it, you're going to have a very different relationship to your energy body. We're introing and connecting you in. And then imagine that you're taking this energy from your groin, and as you are breathing, instead of just bringing the breath to your lungs, imagine that this breath is not just oxygen, but also, as the Eastern traditions would think of it, as like prana, chi, universal life force energy itself. Universal life force energy itself, that which provides life to the universe, life to all that exists. That as you're breathing in, like inspiring, taking in spirit from source itself into your body, into your being, and taking it down, down, down into your groin, into your sex. So just imagine you're taking it down, down, into your groin, into your sex. We're going to take a few breaths like that, kind of a little bit sharp and deep breaths, just in, and you can use your hands along with me. You just like, now take one of your hands and just kind of hold. Most of us can't see, and if depending on where your camera's angled, nobody can see. Place your hand like on your sex organs. Hold your groin, your yoni, your lingam, your pussy, your balls, your cock, whatever language and genital configuration you've got. Hold them and allow that to help you further visualize, imagine, see in your mind's eye this energy, this universal life energy coming down into your groin. That holding it in this way lightly can help you deepen your awareness into this part of your body. There's a couple more. And then just notice. Just hold your awareness into your groin. You can let go of it for a moment. Just hold your awareness and notice anything that feels different. Anything that feels different now than it was just a couple minutes ago. You might feel a little buzzing. You might feel like more alive, or electricity feel, or more of a feeling of like pressure and expansion. Great. Those are some of the ways in which people feel connection to energy. Furthering that, now let's play with it in a different direction. Imagine that instead, with your the groin being the generator of the sexual energy, that as we breathe, we're going to breathe in the opposite direction, or visualize in the opposite direction. We're taking this energy from the groin and bringing it up the body. So I'll generally prefer to work with up the back side of the body, up the spine. Some people like to think of it as like this energy is like a pool of liquid in your pelvic bowl. So like hanging out on the bottom of your groin here. And through your spine, there's a big straw that comes down and dips into that body of water. And that as you're breathing in, you're sipping up that straw. You're breathing from you're taking this liquid, this energy, the swirl of energy from that groin, from this pelvis, and sucking it up the back of your spine, up through that straw, up the back of your body, up, 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 up. You can do it up through the back of the heart, and then take it all the way up to the crown of your head. Notice that as I explain these things, I'm using my hands. This helps. This is part of the movement component, and it also helps with the visualization and intention. As you do these things, it helps you imagine it. It helps you see it in your mind's eye, and it gives you these felt senses along with it. Our imagination and our neurology are linked with one another. When we see something and imagine it in our mind's eye within our body, our nervous system actually lights up in connection to what we are seeing in the mind's eye. So you are actually causing neurological activity in your body as you're doing so. Great, that's what we want. So again, awareness into the groin, into the pelvic floor. And now we're just going to play with sharp, deep inhalations, sucking up through that imaginary straw, going up through your spine and bringing it up through the heart, visualizing up to the top of the head. Ready? All the way to the crown. 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 5 more. If you aren't using your hands along with it, please do. It will help. One more. And then just notice. You might feel a little lightheaded. You might feel tingling sensations going up the body or in your skull. Might feel like a buzzing, or like there's a expansive feeling from your head outward, or from your groin outward. You might notice something. You might feel heat in different parts of your body, or even coolness. Just notice whatever you do notice. Just notice it. And just give me a comment in the box or a raise of your hand if you're noticing something, if you're feeling something. You can take a moment as I go into the, you can write in the comment box like what you are noticing. What do you feel in your body? My back gets super hot. I feel peaceful. What else? What else are you noticing, experiencing in your body? You feel more present. Yeah, great. Tingling in the torso, tingling. Easier to feel the energy coming up than going down. Okay, great. Oh, I feel so orgastic. Okay. Healing, good vibes, smiley, tingling in the top of the head. Channels more open. Keep them coming. I'm not going to keep reading at the moment, but this is for other folks can as well. My chakra points are very warm and more aware in my body. Wonderful. Wonderful. Keep them going. Next, I'm going to move into sound. Sound was the big breakthrough for me in my journey of becoming a multi-orgasmic man. I was about 27, so that was 15 years ago. God, I'm getting old. We have 2 primary models for sound when it comes to pleasure and sex. There is a model for men and a model for women, and if you don't fall into either one of those camps, there's not really a model for you. You're here to make one. So The model for women tends to be, you're just supposed to be having crazy screaming orgasms at the slightest touch. The model for men is sound, no, be stoic, silent. And maybe it's okay to allow out the occasional grunt or yeah, babe. Neither one of these models is really that helpful, though, and certainly not very empowering. Sound doesn't need to be something that is repressed, nor does it need to be something that's just about performance. Think of sound instead about both an expression of what you are feeling internally, as well as an exploration of what you can feel. What I mean by that latter part is that when we sound, it affects and changes what we are actually feeling in our bodies. This is why I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and she knows a thing or two about making sound. Why do toddlers love to like run down the hallway flailing their bodies and their arms and their legs and like because it's fun, it's pleasurable, they enjoy what it does. And now if they could run down the hallway and just do this without making a sound, they don't. It's not as enjoyable. But along the way we learn tone it down. Shut up and sit down. You know, come on, gotta be more civilized. All these ways in which we're socialized to the point that we lose something of our primal being. And that's who we are. You know, we are human beings, we are spiritual beings, and we're primal beings. We're all of that. No, we're divine humans, we're human animals. And so I believe that like true integration is where we can be all of that and hold it all and have access to the power and capacity that exists across that range. Some folks need to put more of their attention in connecting to their more spiritual divine aspects of self. Some folks need to put more of their attention into connecting to the primal animalistic aspects of self. Some people just need to learn how to be more human. So where is more your edge? Right now, as we explore the sound, we can explore that entire range. All of that is available. All of that is available to us, and we can play. One of the things I want to introduce you with sound, I've come to think about our capacity to express with sound as being directly linked up to our experience of freedom and liberation. I'm going to say that again. Our capacity to express with sound and vocally is directly tied up in our freedom and liberation. All the places where your voice is kept small, all the places where during this exercise you may feel yourself kind of like holding back, those are places that you are holding back. I guarantee it extends beyond just this exercise. So I invite you to lean in and see if we can break that open to any degree today, or maybe a lot of degree today, and see how that expands into your expression and your power as you walk through the rest of your life. So sound was hugely confronting for me. I was in the silent camp. And I consider myself a good lover. I was very giving, very attentive. I knew how to give a woman orgasms, but I didn't realize that there was actually this range of experiences that sorry, my doorbell went off, my dog's upset. That she wasn't experiencing with me because of my own blocks. When I started to get the sense that there's something here for me with sound, I was afraid. I wouldn't have liked to think of it that way at the time, but you know, that's what was going on. I was afraid that I would look silly. I was afraid that, I mean, what if she'd even like laughed or laughed at me, like while we're in a sexual situation, or I'm, you know, being like vulnerable, trying to do something new. So like, it was very difficult for me initially. But I felt that there's something there. So initially, it was just very kind of low and under my breath, very like, But even that got a positive response from her. You know, she'd only experienced me completely quiet. So in making it, even in that, I saw the smile creep across her face, and like her energy lit up, and she just did more of what we just did, because that's one of the things that our sounding does, is it gives feedback to our lover. I've come to describe, in my work with men, I've come to describe sounding as the secret to getting more blowjobs. It tends to get men's attention. But it's true, you know, it's kind of funny, which is part of why I do it, but it also has truth in it. When we're providing sexual pleasure to a lover, and that lover is just like laying there silent, how fun is it for you as the giver? Does it bring up insecurity in you? Or do you feel like, yeah, this is going great? That when there's that expression, when there's some form of there's a feedback mechanism that's produced and giving a sense of like, okay, this seems to be working, let me do more of that, or let me pull back from this, and changing, and it gives it, you're providing energy back. The giver is giving their energy to you, and as a receiver in this expression, using all these tools really, but of sound is a way of giving energy back that can create an energetic loop that just creates a much more pleasurable experience for everybody involved. And then of course, your lover is going to be more likely to want to do it again. So when I finally found my sound, now you can't shut me up, and shortly thereafter, I broke through into having my first like non-ejaculatory orgasms, and then multiple orgasms. Now, these tools I'm introducing you today of breath, sound, movement, and visualization, it's not just, hey, we've done this hour class, you're now, you know, experiencing this whole range of multi-orgasmic, etc. experiences. Maybe. Usually doesn't work that way. There's a reason why I've developed a 12-week protocol of training men through all of this. It takes focus and energy, and it's fun though. So let's start simply. We're going to play with an entire range. Ready? Take a deep breath. Only now, let out some sound. Now you can start lightly like I just did. Just I invite you to extend that sound all the way to the end of your breath. So don't like cut it off prematurely. Wait, no prematurely in this room right now. Take the breath all the way to the end, so that till the end of your exhale. Notice where you feel that in your body, because sound is not just auditory. There's a kinesthetic or felt sense to it as well. You can feel the vibration in your body as you make the sound. Notice where you feel that in your body and what it feels like. Now, let's play with some other sounds. Let's go with like a hum sound, like. We'll do that again. First of all, again, notice in your body how that felt. Notice how long I held that that hum. We're just going to play with the entire range of sounds so that we free up the range in which you can sound. So as I did that, I felt the vibration primarily through my head. As you play with the pitch, move it higher, a higher pitch or a lower pitch, you can notice that you can feel the vibration move to different parts of your body. So let's play with that intentionally this time as well. We'll stay with the hum again this time, but from that hum, we're gonna move the pitch higher and lower. Yes, so allow yourself to get silly with this. Allow yourself to have fun with this. To just, nobody's watching. Have fun. Be a little ridiculous. Okay? So, let's do this again. Now let's keep the mouth open and see how you can move that sensation, that vibration to different parts of your body. So let's just take the friggin' lid off. And how can you make sound? How can you make sound? Am I saying that next time you have sex, do this? No, I'm not saying that. I mean, you certainly could. What we're doing here is breaking anything that's holding you back. If you stretch a rubber band far enough, it will never return to its original position. Let's stretch your rubber band. I like some roars sometimes. Get into that primal animal within. Maybe make some form of Eller, like be a little, like when I'm with my daughter, we play with different animals, like moo. I have an ex of mine who like these z sounds, like what haven't you done? Where have you held back? I get, like, this is practice, and I'm also turning my knob way up in order to give you permission to, like, just go for it. Really just go for it. Almost all of you are in a room by yourself. Just go for it. And if you, again, if you notice yourself unable, unwanting, holding yourself back in one form or another, it really would be valuable to ask yourself, where else does that show up? What is holding you back? What are you afraid of? What is the concern or fear? Oh, maybe it's, well, I don't really know if there's any point to doing this ridiculousness. Okay, so what? Let's say there isn't. Do something that has no point. I've got a toddler. She's like my greatest teacher in this. We do all sorts of ridiculous things that have no point. Just do it for the experience. To have an experience in your body. The Toltecs, the ancestors of the Mayans and the Aztecs. Carlos Castaneda wrote about them, and
I did a deep initiation with them about 14 years ago. They have this phrase of not doings, rough translation. And not doings are anything outside of what you do. So stepping outside of your habits, your patterns, and doing things you would not normally do as a way of expanding your sense of self, as a way of challenging the ego and all the ways in which your identity is smaller than the truth of who you are. And so anytime there's a sense of like who you are and who you're not and what you're capable of and what you're not capable of, there are aspects of those beliefs that are not true. That who you are and what you're capable of and the truth of who you are is so much larger, so much more expansive than any identity. And so I'm challenging you, and through this weekend, I'm sure every session, one form or another, will challenge you to do that which you don't normally do. And in doing that which you don't normally do, experience things you don't normally experience, and have your sense of self and who you are and what you're capable of expand as a result. All right. Share on the chat box a little bit about like what that was like for you. The pros, cons, things that were expansive and opening, things that places where you felt held back, anything and all, please share with us here. All of it's very helpful. It inspires everybody else. It connects you all. It gives me more of a sense of it gives me more of a sense of who you are and where we're going forward with this as well. Okay. Feels so nice to play, make funny sounds and faces to feel openness. Practicing and doing really helps me feel more comfortable. It was so much fun to play. So let me go speak to that as you guys keep going. That's the point here. By doing these things in this laboratory that we're in, again, like, so any places that maybe you're not in free, full expression because you're concerned about how something's going to look or sound or how somebody else is going to react, keeps you out of true intimacy, connection, and passion. I want you to be able to access those things. So let's bust it open here so that whatever does want to come can just come. Can just come. Because you've already done far crazier right here. Gonna keep doing this all weekend. Difficult only because I'm in an apartment and worried about being too loud. My guess is you're a good neighbor, Matt, and others experience like probably largely don't even know that you are there. Be the loud one for once. I'm sure every now and then you have neighbors, what have you, who are some part of you is like, are they done yet? Like, or, you know, find some aspect of what they're doing or their sound annoying or irritating, and you deal with it. You get over it. This is one moment in time. It's one moment in time. Have an experience. Have an experience. Push that edge of of that fear. And often what we find is that where that edge is, or where what we think is going to happen, or fear would happen, that line is not where we think it is. So, silly, yes, I love that. I love expanding the rubber band. Getting comfy here, love it. Amazing, so nice and freeing, fun, freeing, so juicy. Great to be silly. How can I break the resistance of doing things that I don't like to do? Well, one big part of it is by just fucking doing it. To develop a habit of doing things that are uncomfortable and just learning to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That is not something that just happens like that. However, if you spend all weekend, the next 36 hours, whatever it is, playing that into that game, it'll be a whole lot easier for you come Monday. It's not that nothing ever feels uncomfortable for me. Oh, there are definitely things that are uncomfortable for me. There are definitely things where like I do all sorts of crazy things in this world. It's not that I don't have fear. It's that I've become comfortable with my fear. So the only way that that really ends up happening is by challenging yourself to just to do it. And that if you feel the resistance, then just feel the resistance while you're doing it. If it feels really uncomfortable, some part of you wants to stop, practice feeling uncomfortable, witnessing the part of you that wants to stop, and continue to do it. All right, those are big things. Fear is our guide and teacher. Courage in the face of fear. Yeah. I've heard that high pitch can create tension. I kind of messed with my vocal cords a little bit there, so don't do that. Make sure that you're coming more from your core, from your low belly, or even from your groin itself. I must have missed that at one point because I hurt my throat. So I don't know. I don't think I experienced that around high pitch creating tension. At the end of the day, this is about you learning to feel more deeply into your own body. Feel more deeply into your own body. If when you are playing with high pitches, you feel more tension in your body, you might not want to do that unless you're wanting to create that tension. And sometimes, sexually speaking, creating tension can be fun and good. If in creating a high tension, you like how it brings that feeling of energy like higher in your body, you're up to your head or crown, and you like that, then do that. So at the end of the day, your greatest teacher is your body. Listen, deepen your listening and trust in that. All right, breath, sound, movement. Where are we in time? Okay, so movement. Anybody else feel warm? I certainly feel warmer than I did when I started. So this is because we're moving a lot. We're moving a lot of energy. We've got getting more blood flow through the body. We're activating the nervous system, all of which are great for pleasure. So if you're seated, stand up. There's a reason why I finally broke down and got an adjustable seated standing desk. It allows me to move. And also I teach a lot through here, so it's very helpful in that regards. But if you are sitting, either stand up through this next section or realize you're not going to get everything that you could out of this section because it's on movement, and in a seated position, you're very limited in the movement that you can do. Okay? I can't force you, but just know if your camera's on, I do see you. All right. Movement. God, there's so many things that we could do. Let's start with, just notice your right hand for a moment, okay? And your arm. Just first notice your right hand, your arm, and notice any sensations that you feel in it. Okay? Now, we're gonna do a form of what's known as a do-in, and just kind of shake out the arm. Notice that, again, not holding anything back, really just kind of shake out the arm. Get a lot of vibration going in it. I'm kind of hopping as I'm doing it. I like that. I find it easier to flip the rest of the arm as well. And just, we're creating, let everything move from the top of the shoulder, to the elbow, to the wrist, all your fingers flopping all over the place. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, now stop and notice what feels different. What feels different in your hand and arm? You can even notice the difference between your right arm and your left arm. Good. Good. Now, we've sent a major increase of blood flow, neurological activity, and energy flow into this part of our body. Also, we brought greater attention and awareness into the arm, which is another way of shifting, like bringing more energy into that part of the body. So people, men particularly, can get very like genital focused. Super grounded feeling. I think that's what that means. Can get very genital focused when it comes to sex. One of my earliest mentors, Joseph Kramer, the founder of the sexological bodywork profession, he spoke of the genital hole and the reverse genital hole. My sound's problematic. How are we doing now? Please let me know about the sound. I'll also try to continue to. Sounds fine to me. All right. So also turn up your volume. Genital hole and reverse genital hole. That's so many people, as they walk through their life, they walk through their life as if their genitals don't exist, as if there's their bodies and then there's just this hole where the genitals are as they go about their day-to-day lives. And then when they're in a sexual situation, it flips into this reverse genital hole where it's like the genitals are all that exist. And it's a hole, H-O-L-E. And what we're doing here is a lot of integration. So with your sex as part of your whole body and being, your whole body and being part of your sexual experience. So if you want to be experiencing full body orgasms, for example, well then you need to train your whole nervous system that every nerve ending of your body is part of the sexual experience. There's this phrase of neurons that fire together, wire together. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So as you're stimulating your genitals or otherwise in an aroused state, you want to be stimulating other parts of your body, stimulating other neurons in your body so that the body is learning that there is a connection here. All of this matters. All of this is connected to your sex. So so that the sexual energy itself flows more freely through your entire nervous system instead of staying just stuck in your pelvis. And also by doing so, especially over time, then when you have an orgasm, the body's already learned that the entire body and nervous system is part of the sexual experience, so that orgasm also floods through the entire body. So with movement, there's a few different pieces here. One is simply just engaging more of your body, allowing your body to move. Another thing that can happen is like during masturbation, people have a tendency, it's not absolute, but there's a tendency to hands on the groin, stimulating the genitals, come, okay, go on with the day or go to sleep. Allowing yourself to move the body, move the body. The more open your hips are and the more flexibility in your spine, the easier it is for the sexual energy to get out of your hips and up through the rest of your body. The more that the sexual energy will be able to move out of your hips and up through more of the rest of your body. Various yoga asanas help with that, like pigeon pose, butterfly, cat-cow for the spine, downward dog. So many things within that can really help. And self-massage. self-massage of around your hips, and of course, massaging your lovers or being massaged help quite a bit. Anything that helps open that up will make it more easy to flow. Letting folks, and again, particularly men, can have this tendency to, even with sex, to get into this like single plane thrusting motion. And it's not that there's something wrong with it. It's just there's more possible. And so by learning to instead like move your hips more, so you see my mess in the back. This will also help your whole spine undulate more, help this energy move up more through your body, and it will also change the experience of the person that you're having sex with. Because if you have a penis and you're penetrating, whoever you're inside of, they're experiencing this instead of just this. They're being stimulated all around. And if you're top, well, women have more of a tendency to do this to begin with, but this, like creating more swivels in your hips, will stimulate your lover in different ways as well, while helping this energy move more through the body. Another key piece around movement, you see me use my hands quite a bit. The using of your hands can also help with lighting up the neurology of your body and help you move the sexual energy out from your groin out to other parts of the body, to really have if you want to really expand your sexual experience, learning to take the sexual energy from your groin and move it freely through your body is absolutely key. And just if at present it has felt more like stuck, it just like stays in your groin, all of these tools will help, and they'll take practice and repetition, but doing various things through this whole weekend will help drastically. So you can literally take your hands, and as you're breathing, for example, like grab around your groin, around your yoni, around your lingam, your cock, your pussy, however you like to describe your genitals, and literally like drag your fingers and your palms up from there, up through the torso, and it works to do this with the breath. This can also be great to create more of a heart-genital connection, more of a connection between your sex and your heart. Notice I'm actually using all four of those tools there at the same time. That movement, the breath, I'm exhaling with sound, and I'm also imagining or seeing that as I'm doing that, I'm moving this energy up through here. Visualization or intention. We're going to do a big one. Let it out with a big sound. Again, notice anything that you feel or notice. So many people spend so much of their time these days in a chair, in front of a screen, all these different ways in which our experience of life is in our head and focused out. And these are things to get you into your body, to feel in here, to be a present embodied being and present embodied sexual being. Another visualization technique that I like to use sometimes is I think I've been using the phrase lately of Iron Man hands. You know how for those who are familiar with the Marvel character of Iron Man, he can like shoot this this energy out of the palms of his hands. You see this a lot in different anime and certain cartoons and such. So just imagine this energy that with your exhale, you can send from the core of your body out your arms and out your hands. Just like, so imagine and notice if you feel along with that imagination that you are sending it down, out your hands. Notice it's not like just to your fingertips. It's like it's out, beyond. We can also play this out the top of the head. So you're breathing it up and shooting it out the top of your head, out the crown, out your eyes, like you're shooting light out of your eyes. I've been playing with TikTok, the social media app, with my daughter, and one of the filters has this filter where you, on a face, when you open your mouth, like light pours out of the eyes and nostrils and the mouth. I'm like, oh, that looks familiar. So we play with here. So breathe it in and imagine you're just like pouring energy out of your eyes, your nostrils, your mouth. Up the top of your head. And down the bottoms of your, down your legs, out the bottoms of your feet. Now, lastly, I call this the starfish method. I write about this in my book, The Evolved Masculine, Be the Man the World Needs and the One She Craves, in the Sexual Self-Mastery section. Starfish method, if you think of your groin as the center point of a starfish, and your legs are two of the limbs of the starfish, your arms, the other two limbs of the starfish, and the fifth arm of the starfish is your torso up through the top of your head. And what you're doing is you're generating sexual energy and you're sending out through all the tips of your starfish. So simultaneously, we're going to be like taking from the groin and shooting down the legs, out the bottoms of the feet, up the torso and down your arms, out your fingertips and the palm, up the torso, out the top of your head. Ah! 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 Yeah! Brrr! Ah! 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 Three more. Ah! 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 And what do you notice? A feeling of lightheadedness, tingliness, tingliness, sensations, tingling sensations through the body, pressure moving up through the body, heat and warmth through the extremities. Super energized, sending love to everyone, calm, warm feet, power. Makes me want to go do an errand and ripples this off of me. Yeah, you've just accessed all this energy. You want to do something with that energy. Vibration. I'm feeling like a shining star. I want to fly. My pussy feels awake. Feel free to keep it coming. I've got to start to wrap this up. So what we've done today is just introduce these 4 tools of breath, sound, movement, and visualization as tools of accessing energy period, and of course, including your sexual energy. And the more aroused you are, the more your sexual energy is turned on, the more that is the primary flavor of the energy that's going to be moving through the body. You can explore this in masturbation by yourself. You can explore these tools with a partner or lover or lovers. Each of these tools can be used individually, and you can play with them together. Again, you don't necessarily have to go as crazy over the top as I did. You may have done here. You may, I don't know. What we were doing here was just, as I said, stretching the rubber band to the point, to its limits, so that you're just more expansive than you were coming in, so that you can just express freely however wants to move through your body without feeling like you need to move through something as much, because you've already moved through it here. These tools are powerful. Quick little plug. Well, my book of The Evolved Masculine, Be the Man the World Needs and the One She Craves came out in January. I see Ma Dave giving 2 thumbs up. I hope that means you've read it. 2 thumbs up, yes. It just came out in January. It's been doing incredibly well, and the feedback's been phenomenal. I'm super honored and humbled, and pick it up, Amazon, what have you. If you go to evolvedmasculinebook.com, evolvedmasculinebook.com, you can enter your order number after you've gotten it, and I include a bunch of free bonuses. I'm also just opening up enrollment now for our next Sexual Self-Mastery for Men training. Regardless of sexual orientation, or this, honestly, just as long as you identify with the male experience or the experience of being a man, and want to be moving your energy accordingly, whether it's wanting to experience ejaculatory choice, really having true control and choice over the ejaculatory reflex, lasting as long as you want, experience full body orgasms, non-ejaculatory male multiple orgasms, own your power and your sovereignty as a sexual being, have more greater confidence in yourself as you move through the world and as a lover. Drop me a line, find me on Facebook, drop me a line. I can send you info on that as well. We're just doing enrollment around that. This is the time. This is the time for that. It is a deep dive, It is not like, oh, here, let me learn a little bit and try to figure out on my own. No, we will hold your hand and take you through a powerful transformational process that will leave you a changed man by the end of it. Those are the games I play. So join me. And other than that, I want to thank you all for being here with me today. And I will, I can put an initial link around that in the chat here, and we'll put it in the Facebook group as well. Oops. Tasmin, please add that. It's Destin Garrick, not Derek. Thank you. It's a pet peeve. You've got a great weekend ahead of you. Join the next class, and I will check in on the boards. Feel free to send me a message or put in comments to this video. Take care, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful experience.